Let's make lasagna, y'all. Let's get started. What's up, y'all? So today I stand in front of you guys in Milan, Italy, and today we are going to be making lasagna. We are in Italy, and I made lasagna a couple of months ago. My son turned 16, and he asked me to make this recipe for him. He's like, Mom, please make lasagna. You never make lasagna. I've made a veggie lasagna. It's on my channel, but I've never made it with meat. So, one point to make. If you guys don't eat pork, try to find yourself some beef sausage with all the Italian flavors and everything in it. This is my intro to lasagna because we are currently in Italy, and I just love this Italian kitchen. The owner, he has owned this house for 25 years, and I said, you know what, let me just do the intro and let's get this lasagna recipe out. Anyway, don't forget to share your gift, share it with the world, and use it for God's glory. Yeah, in the name of Jesus Christ, y'all, let's make lasagna, and I hope you guys try this recipe, and I hope it's tasty for you. God bless. It's pretty simple. Let's go. You guys want to see the kitchen? So cute. Look. And then look at this part right here. We can open it up. And now we can see TV. Okay, let's make lasagna, y'all. Let's make lasagna. You ready for it? Let's go. So we'll start with about 15 ounces of ricotta cheese. Okay, so I'm gonna add a half teaspoon of salt, about an 1/8 teaspoon of nutmeg, and then we'll add a 1/4 cup of parsley and basil chopped. I added a 1/4 cup of each. Add 1 egg, and then we'll mix everything together. You guys, make sure you check the description box down below for all ingredients and measurements, just so you have it all in one lump sum. All right, so go ahead and mix everything together. Your ricotta cheese, your salt, your nutmeg, your 1 egg, and then your basil and parsley. Mix it nice and well. Once mixed, we're gonna put the top on her and add her to the refrigerator. So let's go ahead and chop some veggies. I used 1 celery stalk, guys. 1 was enough. You know, celery can be a bit strong. I used 1 carrot just for all that good flavor, and then I chopped everything. Then we're going to chop 2 onions, unless you find yourself a huge onion, but I went on ahead and I chopped 2 onions. And then I'm going to use half of a red bell pepper. This was such a large bell pepper that I only used half of a half, but half of a bell pepper will suffice. We are just prepping all of our ingredients. Now when it comes to our sausage, like I said before, you guys, if you can't do pork, my stomach can't handle pork as well as other people in my household, find you some beef sausage or chicken sausage, but just make sure that you always take the casing off of the sausage. Did you guys know that Italy was known for pork? They use a lot of pork in their dishes. So anyway, let's go for it. Take the casing off and then just put the sausage to the side. This is about 1 pound of sausage. I love what garlic does for flavor in my dishes, so I used about 7, 8, 9, 10, 50, 11 garlic cloves. I'm just kidding, you guys. I used about 9 garlic cloves. I minced them. You guys can chop yours if that's all you need to do. Now at this point, I got my pan ready, and I put a little bit of olive oil, and I went on ahead and I added my carrots, my onions, my celery, and my bell pepper, and I get everything mixed in. And I used 1.5 pounds of beef, you guys. I wasn't paying attention to my measurements. I usually use 1 pound, but I used 1.5 pounds. And I think that was perfect. So I'm adding on top of my veggies, my 1.5 pounds of beef, and then my 1 pound of sausage. Mix everything together and get it nice and minced. Let me tell you guys something. I don't know why a fork is my utensil of choice when it comes to breaking up food and just cooking in general. You guys know my Alfredo pasta video. The first video that I did, I used a fork, and everybody was talking about it. But you know what? If it keeps me cooking and the utensils work, go for it. Now let's go ahead and add our spices. We're going to add 1 teaspoon of salt. 1 teaspoon of fennel seeds. Do not skip the fennel seeds. It heightens the flavor of the sausage and the meat and the vegetables all together. Then we'll add half a teaspoon of oregano, half a teaspoon of pepper, and get that mixed in, all right? And then we're gonna add our garlic. That's gonna make everything in the house smell wonderful. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add a little bit of olive oil, maybe 2 tablespoons or so, just to, make sure everything is loosened up. Now, you guys, I'm going to add sugar. Lasagna is a very savory meal where you have your sweet, your acidic, and then you have a little bit of salty and a little bit of spicy if you get Italian spicy sausage. So when it comes to the sugar, you can add 1 tablespoon or you can do 2 tablespoons. The difference is the tomato paste. If you have 2 cans of tomato paste, which gives you 12 ounces of tomato paste, do 2 tablespoons of sugar. If you do 1 can, 1 6-ounce can of tomato paste, just do 1 tablespoon of sugar. Now, when making lasagna, the last thing that I want to do is worry about boiling my noodles. So we are going to do this right when we get ready to simmer our meat and our sauce. Just get your noodles, put them into a pan, cover them with hot to warm or warm to hot water, and let them sit for about 30 minutes, and they'll be perfectly wobbly and ready to cook with everything else. Now here I chopped up some more basil and parsley. I'm going to add it to my meat, my sauce, and we're going to mix those wonderful flavors in. And we're just going to get that aroma going throughout the home, throughout that kitchen, and just mix it in really, really good. And then we will add our 28-ounce can of crushed tomatoes. You guys can get the crushed tomatoes that have basil in them, but I would still add the fresh basil and the fresh parsley. So we're going to add that. And on this case, I decided to add 6 ounces of tomato paste. And we're just going to mix everything together. Also, if you want your sauce to be a little bit more saucy and not as meaty, go ahead and add about 1/2 cup of beef broth or vegetable broth to your sauce, you guys. That'll loosen everything up. I did not on this case, but you guys can, just to loosen everything out if you want it to be a bit more saucy.
Delicious.
I just did a taste test. It's so good.
For about 25 minutes.
Yeah, go ahead and set your timer for about 25 minutes, and at that point your noodles should probably be done at the same time. Now this is my mozzarella cheese. I decided to chop my mozzarella cheese. It's about 8 ounces, and I also grated a bar of parmesan cheese. Now as you guys can see, my sauce is sausage. She is finished. And we are getting ready to put everything together and add our layers. I'm going to go ahead and see my wobbly. See, it worked perfectly, you guys, because you're gonna bake for about 50 minutes also, so they're gonna get really soft, which would be perfect. Set your oven, you guys, to 375. Set your oven to 375. And I have my tray pan, and I'm adding my sauce. You guys can add as much or as little as you would like, and you just go from there and add your noodles and your sauce. You guys do the layers however you would like. That's what I did. I just go for what I know and what looks right. That's what I go with. And I cut my noodles because my pan is quite big. So my pan is a 14 by 9.5. 14 by 9.5. Okay, so let's continue to add our ricotta cheese mixture. Again, that is with parsley and basil and salt and nutmeg and an egg. And then we're going to add our mozzarella cheese on top of our ricotta cheese. Get her nice and cheesy. You guys can do your layers nice and thick, thin, however it is that you like it. That's the beautiful thing about cooking, and you can cook to your desire. Now here is my Parmesan cheese. I'm going to add that on top of, well, to add another layer to our already ricotta, our already mozzarella. Then I'm just going to add, like, lightly dust the top with the Parmesan cheese. Then I'm going to add another layer of noodles, and then again cut some so that they can fit, to add some more, and then we'll add another layer of our meat sauce.
my fry. Guys, I ran out of noodles. I ran out of noodles.
It's time to cover our masterpiece with a foil, and we're going to add her to the oven because our oven is already set to 375, and we're going to cook her for 50 minutes. And this is what you get, you guys. I'm finished. Look at that deliciousness. Oh my goodness. Look at that. Aren't y'all ready to dig in? Look at what you made, y'all. I hope you guys enjoy this recipe as much as my family does. I'm telling you, my oldest, he always asks me to make lasagna. Don't forget to comment when you make it so we know how it turns out. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share to Faith's Oven.